For as long as I can remember, I dreamed of Rio de Janeiro, a city alive with endless parties, golden sunshine, and a pulse of excitement that never seems to fade. The images in my mind were always vivid, samba rhythms echoing through the streets, laughter spilling out of beachside bars, and the promise of adventure around every corner. I imagined myself swept up in the energy, dancing with strangers, and feeling the warmth of the city on my skin. As my plane descended through the clouds, the view below took my breath away. Lush green mountains tumbled down to meet the deep blue ocean, and the city sparkled like a jewel nestled between them. Sugarloaf Mountain stood tall, watching over Guanabara Bay, and I felt a rush of anticipation, knowing I was about to step into a place I had only ever seen in dreams and photographs. The air itself seemed charged with possibility, as if every sunrise promised a new adventure. I watched surfers riding the early waves at Ipanema and hikers gazing out over the city from high above, and I knew I was joining a long line of dreamers drawn here by Rio's magic. Stepping into Galeão Airport, I was greeted by the warm melodic sound of Portuguese and the infectious beat of samba music played by local musicians. The airport buzzed with excitement, and I felt instantly welcomed, as if the city itself was inviting me to join the celebration. The drive into the heart of Rio was a blur of color and life. We passed rainbow-painted houses stacked on the hillsides, bustling street markets overflowing with fresh fruit and handmade crafts, and people laughing and chatting in the sun. Every corner seemed to burst with energy and possibility, and I felt my excitement growing with every passing moment. My taxi driver, beaming with pride, pointed out the city's famous sights as we drove. He called Rio a Cidade Maravilhosa, the marvelous city, and as we passed the towering Christ the Redeemer statue, I understood exactly what he meant. The city's beauty was overwhelming, but it was the spirit of its people that truly made it special. Their warmth, their pride, and their joy were contagious, and I felt myself falling under Rio's spell. That evening, I sat on my balcony as the city lights began to twinkle below. Soft music drifted up from the streets, blending with the gentle breeze. I watched as Rio transformed from day to night, the city glowing with life and a promise. And I felt a deep sense of gratitude for being here, in this moment. Even on my very first night, I knew that Rio would capture a piece of my heart forever. There was something about the city, the way it made me feel alive, inspired, and endlessly curious, that I had never experienced anywhere else. I had finally arrived, not just in a city, but in a living, breathing dream that had become my reality. And as the sun rose over Christ the Redeemer, I knew my adventure in Rio was only just beginning. The next morning, I set out early, the city still waking up as I made my way toward Corcovado Mountain. The air was crisp, and the first rays of sunlight painted the sky in soft golds and pinks. There was a sense of anticipation in the air, as if the whole city was holding its breath for the day to begin. My goal was to see Rio's most iconic figure, Christ the Redeemer, standing tall above the city, arms outstretched in a silent embrace. Even from a distance, the statue seemed to watch over everything, a symbol of hope and unity for all who live here and visit. I boarded the famous red train, which began its slow winding climb through the lush Tijuca forest. The ride itself felt magical, the dense green canopy overhead filtering the sunlight into shifting patterns. With every turn, my excitement grew, and I caught glimpses of the city far below, growing smaller as we ascended. At the summit, Christ the Redeemer stood immense and serene, his arms open wide as if to welcome every visitor personally. Up close, the statue's scale was breathtaking, and its calm expression seemed to radiate peace over the bustling city below. Standing at the base, I felt incredibly small, yet deeply grateful. It was as if I was receiving a quiet blessing, a moment of reflection and awe. The world seemed to pause, and I took a deep breath, letting the sense of wonder wash over me. From this vantage point, Rio de Janeiro unfolded in all its glory. The sweeping curve of Copacabana Beach, the dramatic peak of Sugarloaf Mountain, and the sparkling waters of Guanabara Bay dotted with boats. All of it lay spread out like a living map. The city's colors and shapes blended together, vibrant and full of life. Looking out, I finally understood how the city's unique geography, a dance of mountains, forest and sea, created its unmistakable energy. From up high, the chaos of the streets below made sense, each part fitting perfectly into the larger picture. All around me, Visitors from every corner of the globe gathered, each of us drawn here by the same sense of wonder. We spoke different languages, wore different clothes, but in that moment, we were united by the awe we felt. It was a reminder of how travel can bring people together, even if just for a fleeting moment. We smiled at each other, snapped photos, and shared the view, our differences forgotten as we stood in the shadow of something greater than ourselves. The joy was contagious, and I realized that these shared experiences are what make travel so meaningful. As I descended the mountain on the train, the city slowly came back into focus. I felt a deep sense of peace, as if I had gained a new perspective, not just of Rio, but of life itself. The visit left me with a quiet gratitude and a renewed sense of wonder. Looking out over Rio once more, the city felt even more alive, its energy and beauty magnified by the memory of the statue's silent, gentle embrace. I knew I would carry this view, and the feeling it gave me long after I left the mountain behind. Copacabana is more than just a beach. It's Rio's living room and playground. The famous walkway pulled me into a lively parade of joggers, families, and sellers. I watched soccer players, older couples, and children all enjoying the sun and sea. Buying a fresh coconut, I enjoyed its sweet taste while looking at the blue-green waves. A grilled cheese on a stick added a salty, chewy treat to the day. As afternoon faded, golden light made the scene softer, and the beach's energy calmed down. The sky turned pink and orange, waves whispering as evening came. I stayed until sunset, feeling happy and connected to Rio's spirit. Copacabana isn't just for sunbathing, it's where you feel the city's heartbeat. Here I understood why people from Rio love their city so much. Sugarloaf Mountain offers Rio's most romantic view. Glass cable cars flew above the city, my excitement growing with every climb. At the top, a full circle view opened up, mountains, bay, and the Christ statue far away. As the sun set, the city was bathed in golden light, sky and water blazing with color. It got quiet, then people clapped as the last light disappeared and city lights turned on. Rio changed into a sparkling picture, magical after dark. Leaving Sugarloaf, I felt like I was part of a daily miracle, a perfect end to a perfect day. The city's beauty stayed with me long after I went down. To truly know Rio, you have to taste it. The city's spirit is woven into every meal, every bite, and every shared table. Food here isn't just about filling your stomach. It's about connecting with the city's vibrant soul and the people who call it home. My food adventure started at a classic churrascaria, where the aroma of sizzling meats fills the air and waiters move from table to table, expertly slicing juicy cuts right onto your plate. The experience is lively and theatrical, with endless varieties of beef, pork, and chicken, each seasoned to perfection. But Rio's flavors are more than just barbecue. The city's streets are lined with colorful stands overflowing with tropical fruits, some I'd never seen before. Vendors squeeze fresh juices on the spot, blending flavors like passion fruit, guava, and mango, creating drinks that are as refreshing as the ocean breeze. I quickly got hooked on acai bowls, thick and icy, topped with granola and banana, and pão de queijo, those warm, cheesy bites that melt in your mouth. These simple treats are everywhere, perfect for breakfast or a midday snack, and they capture the laid-back joy of Rio life. In a cozy, family-run restaurant, I sat down to enjoy feijoada, Brazil's beloved black bean stew. Served with rice, farofa, and orange slices, it's a dish that brings people together. Meals here are never rushed. They're slow, social, and steeped in tradition, with stories and laughter shared over every course. Every bite told a story, centuries of Portuguese, African, and native influences blending in each dish. From spicy stews to sweet desserts, Rio's cuisine is a living history lesson, a delicious reminder of the city's diverse roots and ever-evolving culture. Food in Rio is meant to be shared, enjoyed with excitement, and celebrated. Whether you're with family, friends, or new acquaintances, meals are a time to connect, to laugh, and to savor the moment together. From beachside snacks like crispy pastéis and grilled cheese on a stick, to hearty meals in bustling restaurants, every meal felt like an adventure, an invitation to explore something new and delicious. Exploring Rio's food was like exploring its culture, history, and people all at once. Each meal opened a window into the city's heart, revealing the warmth and creativity of its locals. In Rio, every meal is a celebration. a feast for all your senses, where flavors, colors, and stories come together in unforgettable ways. To find Rio's artistic heart, I walked up the old stone streets of Santa Teresa. Old mansions, now art studios and coffee shops, lined the lanes with colorful flowers spilling over walls. The yellow tram tracks led me to hidden courtyards, art galleries, and amazing city views. Santa Teresa was buzzing with creative energy, street art, handmade crafts, and a relaxed feeling. The Escadaria Celeron, a mosaic staircase, was a highlight, a colorful tribute to Brazil and the world. Here, history and art came together, and time seemed to slow down. Sipping coffee at a sidewalk cafe, I realized Rio's magic lives in these quiet, special places. Sometimes, the best discoveries happen when you go off the usual path. In Rio, you don't just see the city, you hear it. Samba beats through the streets, especially in Lapa, where nightlife and music come together. On Friday nights, the area becomes a huge outdoor party. Dancing, laughter, and caipirinhas everywhere. Inside a samba club, the music was impossible to resist. The rhythm made you want to move. Locals welcomed me onto the dance floor, showing me samba's happy steps. Even though I was clumsy, I felt free, caught up in the shared celebration. Samba is more than music. It's the city's heartbeat, a sign of strength and joy. Its influence is everywhere, from beaches to parks, telling Rio's story through rhythm. The music became the soundtrack to my trip, echoing long after I left. In Rio, music is life and everyone is invited to dance. Ipanema's everyday beauty grabbed me more than any famous spot. The beach, with the Two Brothers Mountains in the background, was lively with surfers and stylish locals. Evenings brought a parade of joggers and bikers along the walkway, everyone enjoying being outside. I walked leafy streets, finding boutiques, art galleries, and cozy restaurants. A modern, fancy side of Rio. The neighborhood felt both glamorous and welcoming. Each sunset, crowds gathered on Arpoado Rock to watch the sky burst into color. As the sun dipped, applause broke out, a daily thank you to nature. In these shared moments, I fell in love with Rio's spirit. Ipanema showed me the city's simple, shared joy. My time in the marvelous city ended, but its magic stayed with me. On my last walk by the water, I tried to remember the sun, the waves, and the mountains. Rio had been even better than I expected, more beautiful, lively, and full of soul than I'd imagined. The city's differences, energy and peace, rich and poor, showed its strong spirit. Rio taught me that beauty and hardship can exist together, and there's always a reason to celebrate. Travel opens our hearts, connects us, and reminds us that we are all human. I urge you, go where you've always dreamed. Try new things and share your stories. My heart is full of Rio's magic, and I hope it makes you want to travel too. The world is waiting. Go and meet it.